In southeast Louisiana, Mayor Mitch Landrieu declared a state of emergency, telling residents the city was ready.
There is an army of individuals working right now to protect the health and safety of the people of New Orleans.
New Orleans was mostly spared from flooding, except areas outside the levee protection system. Power outages and wind damage were the biggest problems after the storm. CAO Andy Copland says city workers, top to bottom, pitched in to help.
From near misses with sewer and water board generation, which could have caused water boil notices during that time, to making sure that we had folks with severe health issues that were being able to be pulled out of compromised positions. And so we made sure that we took care of the health and safety of the public.
The city says it spent more than $5 million on emergency pay and overtime for Isaac, $3.2 million for police, $662,000 for firefighters, $346,000 for EMS, and $888,000 for other departments and agencies.
We had hundreds of people actually living in City Hall, as well as in the police districts and the fire districts who worked here and then slept here when they weren't working.
They're robbing the city blind, and with this extra overtime pay, and I think that the citizens should be alarmed about that.
At a time when many city departments and agencies are facing big budget cuts, it's one chunk of that post-Isaac payroll in particular that Randolph Scott, former City Hall employee spokesperson, is having a hard time understanding.
It's because their salaries are already high salaries. Above like six-figure salaries, most of them.
The city's 6 deputy mayors and health director, who on average make more than $150,000 a year and are normally exempt from making overtime, collectively raked in more than $100,000 in both emergency pay and overtime. Fox 8 scoured payroll documents from the end of August through the end of September. Copland, who makes $179,000 a year, earned an extra $14,000, 117 hours worth of emergency pay, 58 hours of overtime. Cedric Grant, who's in charge of facilities and infrastructure, was paid for 117 hours of overtime, racking up almost $16,000 more than usual.
When we needed new generators for the sewer and water board facilities, Deputy Mayor Grant was leading the charge in the middle of the night to get generation flown in to New Orleans so we wouldn't have to have a water boil.
Deputy Mayor of Public Safety Jerry Sneed also saw an extra $16,000 post-Isaac. Chief of Staff Judy Morse earned an additional $12,000, including 60 hours of OT. Deputy Mayor of Operations Michelle Thomas got paid an additional $14,000, 108 hours of emergency pay, 70 hours of overtime.
We had folks who were out there inspecting capital projects that are under construction right now. Property management staff were, 24/7 making sure that our city assets were being protected during the storm from additional damage.
Emily Arata, Deputy Mayor of External Affairs, earned more than $12,000 extra dollars because of Isaac. And documents show Health Commissioner Karen DeSalvo worked 134 hours for the storm, including almost 90 hours of overtime. She earned more than $17,000 extra. The average city worker?
Time and a half with a salary on average of $25,000. I think the increase would be minuscule at best, maybe several $100s at best.
Also for the first time, captains and above at the NOPD made overtime. Chief Ronald Serpaz told the council this week the city did the right thing.
In the city of New Orleans, and I want to appreciate and thank the mayor for this, we paid the white shirts, if you will, this time. And they were here 50, 60, 80 hours nonstop.
Serpaz got paid extra too. Because of his $189,000 a year salary, he actually saw the fattest post-Isaac check at the NOPD. He earned $19,098 in one pay period, almost $12,000 more than he usually makes. Fraternal Order of Police spokesperson Raymond Burkhart doesn't question the extra police compensation. He does wonder why the mayor's executive staff cashed in.
I think it's safe to say anybody making over 6 figures who is politically appointed or is politically elected is expected to go above and beyond versus the $40,000 policeman or even the $60,000 policeman who is on the front lines doing the search and rescue. I don't believe that was the intent of the rule of the law.
The higher-ups in the fire department also earned OT for the first time. New Orleans Fire Chief Charles Parent's overtime and emergency pay was lumped into one check for almost $19,000, almost $13,000 more than his normal paycheck.
I think there are certain salary exempt employees that should get paid. For example, in the fire department, we have deputy chiefs and district chiefs who were not paid during Hurricane Katrina. Okay, and they worked unusually long days, month after month.
But Nick Felton, who heads up the firefighters union, says he too is concerned and puzzled by the Isaac payroll figures for the mayor's top aides.
I just don't see when you have people making six-figure salaries that are known. They knew that coming in, that their job is going to require them to work long hours. They're supposed to be the best and the brightest. And absolutely, it doesn't show well if the mayor or anyone authorized that pay to be done.
The big picture here is that in an emergency, there are essential personnel that are called out that are required to stay on duty 24/7 for as long as the emergency lasts. So they're not able to be with their families. They don't get time off. They're required to be on site.
And then there's the highest paid person on the city's payroll, a man who already makes $227,000 a year. New Orleans Aviation Director Iftikhar Ahmad's post-Isaac paycheck was more than twice as much as his normal biweekly check. It totaled $17,796. So high-paid, salaried city employees who have historically been exempt from earning overtime cashed in like never before. We wanted to know how and why now. Our investigation uncovered the answer actually dates back to 2010 and a civil service rule change that apparently no one paid much attention to. It was shortly after the BP oil spill off the Louisiana coast. Mayor Landrieu issued an emergency declaration. Jerry Sneed monitored the potential impact.
We're preparing for the worst. Hopefully we won't get any oil, but we think we have a plan in place.
At the same time, Sneed petitioned the Civil Service Commission to change a decades-old rule, specifically relating to emergency overtime compensation in connection with the BP spill, to allow all exempt employees, which includes those who aren't hourly, to be compensated for extra hours worked. The commission agreed, and while it was explained to that panel that the rule change would involve overtime pay, that's not how it was explained to the city council.
Let's pause right there, family. Let's pause right there. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Good afternoon. You are listening to The Proven Truth. You are tuned into The Proven Truth with your brother and host Anthony Brown. Coming to you live from the studios of Radio Gumbo Creole here in the beautiful territory of New Orleans, Louisiana. The telephone number here is 504-303-8922. Again, that number is 504-303-8922. You can listen to us also by going on the web. That's www.radiogumbocreole.net. That's radiogumbocreole.net. You can also listen to us by dialing the number 667-930-9041. Again, you can also listen to us by dialing the number 667-930-9041. We live stream this and every show on the Facebook family. We live stream this and every show on the Facebook. You can check us out on the Facebook by going to Anthony Brown for Assessor 2017. And look, while you're there, it's a platform, or this platform was created not for only Anthony Brown, but for we, the people. This platform, you can utilize, it's your prerogative, or you want to utilize this platform. You can leave a comment, you can ask a question. Again, it's your prerogative, or you want to utilize that platform like any other platform to which we share. You can also check us out on the Facebook by going to The Proven Truth. And again, on that platform, you can utilize that platform any way you so choose and desire. 504-303-8922. My sister Kim, much love. Kim Ford is Kim Ford family is joining us live and Facebook Live. Much love to that warrior sister. Also with us is that other, look, Infinity. Look, you got some skills, girl. Hey, I was checking out family. For those of you who don't know, Infinity is one of our, Facebook friends. Somebody who, been with us for a while. And I was checking out Infinity today, one of our videos, and she do this mirror, this thing. She's an artist in her own right. And she do this thing by CC's what you call that, CC's Cafe, that cafe down there, and what's that street down there downtown close to Canal Street? I don't remember the name of the street right now, right? And she did this thing, this thing where she have her, once you walk inside that restaurant, you can see, she have these mirrors up, she has some skills, family. Give her a shout out. That's my girl Infinity. Okay, family, look. Today we're going to be speaking about the millage proposition that's on the ballot in another month or so. But before we start to speak about that millage, this is something that I want everybody to understand the concept. Here in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana, you have a gentleman by the name of Harold G. Williams. Harold G. Williams claimed to be the Orleans Parish tax assessor. I refer to him as a criminal imposter. I refer to Harold G. Williams as a criminal imposter. And believe me, when I refer to him in that way, he is. Now, every single elected official, family, every single elected official in the territory of Louisiana, once elected to public office, there are certain prerequisites that you must abide by. There are certain prerequisites that you must follow. One of the prerequisites that must be met according to the Louisiana Constitution, Article 10, Section 30, is that you must take an oath of office. You must take an oath of office. Now, here in my hands, for my friends on Facebook Live, here in my hands is a copy of that criminal imposter Harold G. Williams' oath of office. Now, this is something that I spend my hard-earned money to get, because I want to verify for myself that at least this prerequisite that was supposed to be met by that no good imposter criminal Harold G. Williams is met. I have here the oath of office from Harold G. Williams coming from the Secretary of State office. Okay? And when you turn to the second page of this document, it says oath of office. Then it reads, the state of Louisiana, parish of Orleans, I, Harold G. Williams, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of this state, being Louisiana, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent on me as the Orleans Parish tax assessor. And you can see where he did his little scribbling, his John Hancock. Okay? And according to this, the person who administers the oath was an attorney at law, bar number 17507. Then to the bottom, it gives you that he have received and acknowledged a code of ethics. Now, listen to what I'm saying, family. Listen to what I'm saying. Even though Errol G. Williams have this document, even though Errol G. Williams fulfill this requirement, there was other requirement, other prerequisite that he had was to fill before he commenced any duty in the office of the Orleans Parish Tax Assessor. Now, the bottom line is, people here in New Orleans are in an uproar. The people of New Orleans right now are in an uproar about the fact that they have this increasing financial burden. This increasing financial burden, right? Their property taxes are going up and up and up. And at no point in time is there ever a rollback in property taxes. There's always an issue by these politicians to increase the financial burden and the backs of the people here in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana, always. Now, we know, because we have been challenging that criminal. We have been challenging Errol G. Williams. And it reached to the point where we decide that to challenge Errol G. Williams is futile. Don't make no more sense. What occurred to put us into that frame of mind? What occurred, or what action did Errol G. Williams did to let we stop correspond with him in a formal and respectable manner? In my hands, family, in my hands, I got a document. And the document is, Kim, my sister, the telephone number is 667-930-9041. I'm going to write it for you. The number, I'm going to write the number for you. It is 667-930-9041. Okay, that's the number you can, if you want to listen to us in your automobile, you can do. You can dial that number on your phone and plug it into your auxiliary, and you can listen to us via that number. This document in my hand, again, for my Facebook Live, you can see, but this document is titled at the head of the page, Orleans Parish Assessor's Office, Errol G. Williams Assessor, 1300 Produce Street, City of New Orleans, City Hall, Room 4E01, New Orleans, Louisiana, 70112. Mr. Brown, it's addressed to me, right? And it was dated February the 23rd, 2016. That's the date on this correspondence. And let me skip the first two paragraphs. Let me skip the first two paragraphs. and get to his summary. This is what that criminal imposter, this is what that elected official, Errol G. Williams, is telling one of his bosses. This is what Errol G. Williams, an elected official here in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana, who, again, for those of you who just joining us, have an oath of office, and I just read it a while ago, right? This is what Errol G. Williams not only told us, but of the galls, of the balls, of the fortitude to put it in black and white. This is what your tax assessor told us. I must inform, and I'm quoting now, a quote, I must inform you that my plate is full. What? His plate is full. Here is this guy. Here is this public official. Here is this politician, right? Who came to we the people on his goddamn hands and knees, begging us to put him into public office. Begging us to give him, to ensure that he can keep food on his table, a roof over his goddamn head, and his daughters in whichever institution of learning they want to go. Came to us, begging us for a job. And is now telling us that his plate is full. And I have no further desire to enter into intellectual debate over the differences in the definition of words, the Constitution. No, girls, stop the goddamn press, man. Stop the press. Stop the press. Listen to me and listen to me good, family. Listen to me and listen to me good. We received this document from the criminal imposter Errol G. Williams on or about February, on or about February, maybe the 26th or the 28th. Thereabout, we received this document from this criminal imposter Errol G. Williams. Listen to what I'm saying carefully. When we read this document, we couldn't believe what it is that we were actually reading. We couldn't believe it, family. Because again, we went and we spent our hard-earned money. We contacted the Secretary of State. We ensure that we have, or that there was on file, an oath of office for Errol G. Williams. We did that. Now look, family, this is not secret. Every single elected official in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana must have this. And if they don't have this, the office is void. Let me use the correct terminology. If they don't have this, let me go to Errol G. Williams' oath of office. This is what happened if they don't possess this. Not only this, I've been telling you guys since 1900 long that Errol G. Williams sit in the office of the Orleans Parish Tax Assessor and don't have a goddamn bond. Errol G. Williams don't have a bond. And because he don't have a bond, this is what happened. Again, this is Errol G. Williams' oath of office, family. He is fully aware of this. This is Errol G. Williams' signature right here. This is what, once you go to the second page, right, and you read the oath of office, then you have the signature where he signed, and then where the person who administered the oath signed. Then it have in big black bold letters for my family on Facebook. You can see it. If you can't see it, you can see it, I hope you can see it, in big bold letters. This is what it says. Attention. Please provide or update all contact information below. Office contact information for public officials is published on the Secretary of State website. If an office address is not provided, the residence address will be published. Okay? Below that, Errol G. Williams give his resident/mailing address, and he also give, that's his actual physical address, and he also give the address for City Hall. Now, this is the key, because what are we talking about? We are talking about the office of the Orleans Parish tax assessor being vacant. I don't give a rat's ass how long that criminal imposter Errol G. Williams is in that goddamn office. I did the research myself. I contacted what that clown name that's on the 4th Circuit Court of Appeal right now, Dale Atkins. I spoke to Dale Atkins before she was, a matter of fact, during that same time period, she was running to be a judge on the 4th Circuit Court of Appeal. And to be, in all fairness, yes, she did call me back and have conversation. But I think she did that not because she wanted to do it, but because she know Anthony Brown's black ass and my temperament, and because she know that at that time she was running for public office, and she know that I would pick it outside or the stairs of the clerk of court. I contacted her. She could not verify that Errol G. Williams had an oath of office. She did not give me a document. However, I contacted her predecessor, this present clerk of court right now, Mr. Napoleon, and she gave me a document. Look, I'm speaking about it right now. It's inside my file. You know what I mean? I'll show you guys another time. But believe me, Miss Napoleon, which she is what you call the custodians of record. The custodian of records don't have nothing on file for this criminal imposter, Errol G. Williams. No. When you go to, look, family, I want you guys to do it. I want you guys, look, you don't even have to get his oath of office. What you can do, and look, I advise, I recommend that you guys do this. Why? Because I do it. I keep a copy of not only the Louisiana Constitution, I keep a pocketbook version of the United States Constitution, because every single politician here in Louisiana, took an oath to abide by these two documents. When you go to clause 2 or number 2, this is what, of the oath of office, this is what it says. Failure, and it is in bold black letters. Failure to comply with the above requirements creates a vacancy in the office. What it creates? Now, what the hell do Anthony Brown know about law, or know about the oath of office, or know about politicians and the requirement? What do I know? I don't know jack. When I tell you, when I made the argument that Errol G. Williams is a goddamn imposter, believe me. Let's read. Look, we're going to read 2, then we're going to back up to 1. This is what 2 says. Failure to comply with the above requirements create a vacancy in the office, which shall be filled in accordance with law as in other case of vacancy. Now, let's read 1. What 1 says. Listen to this. For all of your goddamn critics out there. Look, my daddy never raised a fool, tell you that. There are no wimp. each public officer within 30 days after receipt of his commission or within 30 days after receipt of his commission certificate, whichever is later, shall take the oath of office prescribed by law, comma, give bond, comma, you catch that? B-O-N-D, comma, when required. Now, listen to it carefully. Listen to it carefully. I'm no politician. So I don't have to trick you or mislead you or lie to you or read a sentence fragment so you can so I can make you believe my point. Look, I love you guys too much to lie to you. I won't lie to you. It says, so these are the prerequisites that not only Harold G. Williams, again, we're talking about the Louisiana Constitution, Article 10, Section 30, Section 30. It applies to every single one. So these are what's the prerequisite? 1, you must take the oath of office prescribed by law. Right here, family, in my hands is the oath of office for that criminal imposter Harold G. Williams that's prescribed by law. That's it. However, does that in and of itself fulfill the requirement of the seat of the tax assessor? No. There is other requirement. The second one, give bond. You know what bond is? Bond is your insurance policy that they tell you that you must have before you can operate your own personal vehicle, before you can operate on the street. That's what a bond is. A bond is an insurance policy. Why would you need a bond or an insurance policy as a public official? Why? Let me tell you why. During your time acting as an elected official, as a public official, human nature, to prevent you from causing anyone any harm, or should you cause anyone any harm in your capacity as an elected official, your bond, it will trigger your bond. So, in the case of that criminal no-good imposter Harold G. Williams, he's going around and he is fraudulently converting people's property from a private asset to a commercial one. Now, you can trigger that bond. He's going around and he's giving prudence to a company by the name of Civic Source to auction your property, right? Now, you can trigger that bond. The bond is there for the public benefit. Harold G. criminal don't have a bond. The question is, when you look, the next word is when required. Now, we went through their statutes. We went through their books. And the only person or two persons who is not required to give bond is the state treasury. Family, look. When we speak, or when we get, what's the name of this show? It's The Proven Truth, right? The name of this show is The Proven Truth, for those of you who don't know. And when we talk about the proven truth, what are we talking about? We're talking about that to which is constant with facts and reality. That's what we're talking about. That to which is constant with facts and reality. We're not talking about Anthony Brown truth or even your truth. Because who's to say that my truth is righteous or is factual? Who's to say that your truth is righteous or factual? We took some time and energy to come up with this name, The Proven Truth, because we told ourselves that we won't be speaking about any issue that we aren't knowledgeable about. We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. If we don't have a clue, we keep our goddamn mouth shut. Here it is for the critics out there. Now look, you hear me talk about the critics. Look, I love the critics. Look, every single person who criticize me or speak negative about me, I love them. I really do. I love them and I listen to them. You know why? Because it's the critics who make me a better researcher. It's the critics who let me spend more time doing my research and my investigation. It's my critics who ensure that I can rebut their argument. So look, don't think that Anthony Brown hate the critics. I love you. Look, I want the critics to watch this show every goddamn time I'm on the air or listen to it. I love you. Now, here it is. It says, for my critics, it says, out of office, prerequisite. Give bond, prerequisite. When required. And file, F-I-L-E, the same in the proper office in the manner required by law. So we're going to deal with that element because the question could be asked, which is it have, and I inform people about this many a times. Okay, the statute says when required. How do you know that Errol G. Williams is required to give bond? That's a good question. Then I go to their own laws, their own books, and pull this document up. Look, family, look. For the guys on Facebook, you can see it for yourself. I'm going to show you guys all this information. Again, this is public record, and I don't mind doing the legwork for my fellow New Orleans, for my fellow, because look, I know you guys work hard, and you guys busy. You guys out there every day with the hustle and bustle, trying to make a living, trying to generate this money so that you can keep on paying this astronomical high property tax. I know that. I know that. So because I love you guys so much, I'll do the work for you. I'll do the legwork. Here in Title 42 of the Revised Statute, Louisiana Revised Statute, Louisiana Law Revised Statute, Title 42, Public Officers and Employees, Section 182. Officers to whom not applicable. Let me say it one more time. Officers to whom not applicable. Okay. Officers to whom not applicable. The provision of Revised Statute 42 semicolon 181 shall not apply to the state treasurer, comma, the state auditor, comma, parish recorders and clerks of the district court. Hold on there. Hold up, critics. Hold up. Because maybe you know something. Hold on, let me put on my glasses, man, because somebody just tell me that I'm blind. They say, Anthony, you're blind, man, you're missing something. Maybe I am. Okay. Because, you know, I really think I'm too young to be having eye problem, but my doctor said otherwise. Look, so let me read it again. The provision of Revised Statute 42:181 shall not apply to the state treasurer. So the state treasurer is somebody who is excluded from Article 10, Section 30, as it relates to the prerequisite of holding public office. Why? I don't know the reason why. I can only assume. I don't like to assume, but if I should assume, I would think that the state treasurer is somebody who dabbles or surround himself with money. I don't know. I'm just guessing. So that's one person. The next person is the state auditor. The state auditor. That's two persons or individual. Why is the state auditor excluded? I don't know. Maybe the state auditor is, look, we ain't going to speculate here. It's a proven truth. Parish recorders and clerks of district court. So, like Dale Atkins, no, not Dale Atkins, like Chelsea Napoleon and her clerks, the clerks of the district court, they are excluded from the statute. They are excluded from the statute. Now, again, family, well, you know something, way before my eye doctor tell me I need the glasses. Man, this is crazy, man. Look, way before my eye doctor tell me that I need to wear glasses to read, right? I found this information. So, but again, I could still miss something. So you guys can go and read it for yourself. You see what I'm saying? I could still miss something, so you guys can go and read it for yourself. So, we several different times, and we go to where the bond's supposed to be at, and the bond is not there. The bond is not there. So Errol G. Williams don't have a guardian bond. What does that mean? Let me tell you, I'm not no smarter guy than nobody. This is what it means. The office of the Orleans Parish Tax Assessor has been vacant. Not because Errol G. Williams sit inside here. That means every single action that Errol G. Williams as a tax assessor did while occupying the office is null and void of law. You can sue his ass. Now the only difference is, or the thing is, because again, I've done it. He's hiding behind his cronies. He's hiding behind his cronies. Family, look, I'm getting a feedback with my system, man. Come on. I don't like this. Oh, man. My system is messing up. Let me wing it. Let me try to wing it, man, because I don't like this hiccup. He's hiding behind his cronies. What do I mean by that? We file complaint against Errol G. Williams in Civil District Court, Orleans Parish. And we was to join the municipal corporation, the city of New Orleans, and to the complaint. Right? Because the way this system is set up, and let me tell you something, man, that's the reason why people are so frustrated. I know why the people of New Orleans are so frustrated. The system is set up in such a way that you cannot get relief from no one individual or no one department. And what they do is to disassociate themselves from one another and point fingers to one another. What do I mean by that? When you go to the New Orleans Treasury Department, right? They tell you, and you talk to them about your tax or your tax bill. They tell you they only collect the revenue. They are not the ones who put the property on your tax roll. And they are right. That's done by that criminal imposter Errol G. Williams. Now when you go to Errol G. Williams, he told you, look, I don't have nothing to do with it. All I do is assess your property, which that in and of itself is a lie. Errol G. Look, let me tell you something, family. Errol G. Williams, as long as he has been the tax assessor, he have not assessed no property. No property. Now, according to the IRS, according to Title 26 of the United States Statute, Code, Title 26, that deal with the IRS, you cannot have, without an assessment, there is no tax. Without an assessment, there is no tax. So somebody cannot come and tax you and there is no assessment. According to the Louisiana Constitution, Article 7, Section 18, one of the prerequisites for taxation is what? An assessment. For you guys on Facebook, you see it's highlighted in yellow. If there is no assessment, of the property, there is no goddamn tax, or there cannot be no tax. Article 7, Section 18 deals with ad valorem tax. What type of tax? Ad valorem tax. Part 2, property taxation. The first word, or the first prerequisite is assessment. Then it goes on to say, listen carefully, property subjected to the ad valorem taxation. Property subjected to the ad valorem. Look, family, my brothers and sisters, one of the biggest problems that we are having here in Louisiana is that we have people calling themselves judges who are supposed to interpret the law, who are supposed to apply the law. And when we, the people, go inside these kangaroo courts, and we, the people, go to this document and show it to them verbatim, they act like we are the fools, or we are stupid, or they act with contempt. They act as if, because you're not a member of that private club, the Louisiana Bar Association, you don't have any common sense. That's how they treat people. You cannot understand the written words. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying, family. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. They act as if only somebody who go to these institutions of higher learning and spend years getting a law degree can understand what's written in this. Now, One of the first things that teaching in law school I've heard is that, and based on certain case law that I've read, if the language is complicated that the average person cannot understand it, it's null and void of law. Anything has to do with law, anything that have to affect the general public must be written in such a way that the average person reading it can understand or understand its meaning. One of the things that Harold G. Williams and his cronies try to disassociate or try to let it seem that is not applicable. When I outline to them the Constitution, and when I read Section 18, I point this out. I say, look, the first thing that must be done is an assessment. Now, Harold G. Williams told me to my face that he had the right to assess every single goddamn property here in New Orleans. He told me that. And I couldn't believe it, family. I couldn't believe it. After the word assessment, the preceding language is as follows. Property subjected to ad valorem tax. That means, no, this is common sense, you know. This, you know, look, you don't even need a goddamn high school diploma to understand this. If there is properties that is subjected to the ad valorem taxation, as it is written in the Constitution, that stands to fact that there's properties that's not subjected to the ad valorem tax. No, hold on. What if I'm crazy, man? You know, no, family. I'm serious. Sometimes I think that maybe I'm looking at it in the wrong light. I really do. Because based on common sense, you would think that why would they draft this document in this way? Now, not only that, but when you go to Section 8, Paragraph B, now for those of you critics, and again, I love you critics, I love you guys. You keep me on my toe, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much, my critics. If you say to me, Anthony, you're full of crap, you don't have a clue what you're talking about. Every property falls underneath the ad valorem taxation provision. Okay, all right, okay, all right, I give you that. Let's go to paragraph B. What does paragraph B talk about? Classification. Listen to paragraph B of Article 7, Section 18. The classification of property subjected, what? Is this language ambiguous? The classification of properties subjected to ad valorem taxation. So now it is telling you about certain classification. What does classification mean? What does the word classification derive from? Where does that word come from? How is that word applicable, or how is that word utilized when it comes to properties subjected to the ad valorem taxation? Look, The fact that we are talking about classification, that means we are talking about different sector or different groups or different volumes, right? So if Section 18A wasn't clear enough, Section 18B must clarify Section A, because Section B talk about classification. So therein, we're talking about different structure, different groups or different classes. How can Harold G. Williams and his cronies here, look, all them cronies, man. All them goddamn cronies, man. They're criminals, man. All them criminals. Look, family, I want to touch on something else real quick along this same line, because we have an event to attend to today. And for those of you who can make it, I was this group, this organization here in Louisiana, in New Orleans. I think they are the renters. It's renters. It's an organization with people who basically rent properties. They are not home owners; they are renters, and they form this coalition. Okay, and they're having a meeting today, which I was told about and invited to attend. It's supposed to start at 6 this evening, being September the 5th until 9. And one of the things they're going to be talking about is the millage proposition that's on the ballot. I'm going to be speaking about that there, about this millage proposition that's on the ballot for this November 6th. Now, listen to what I'm saying to your family. Listen to what I'm saying to you. We have a CEO, a mayor. She claimed to be the first black female to hold this seat. She claimed to be someone who meet people where they are. She claimed to have a common understanding or a common feeling of the average man, woman, and child here in New Orleans, Louisiana. To that I say bullshit. We know the people of New Orleans this November 6th, because of lackadaisical want to be friends with everybody, Latoya Cantrell, we now have a proposition on the ballot this November that if it should pass, it would increase the financial burden on the people of New Orleans. It will add another level of financial burden on the backs of the people of New Orleans. Now the irony here is, when Latoya Cantrell submitted this proposition first, right, there was 2 individuals on the New Orleans City Council that for a very short moment in time, they were acting as representative of we the people. They was acting on our behalf. They stood their ground for a very short time, family. And that was Jason Williams and Elena Moreno. For a very short time, they look at this proposition and they say no. They say, one, the language itself was ambiguous. The argument was, if we are to believe that we need this proposition on the ballot come this November because we need money for infrastructure, then the language supposed to be to that end. But what happened when LaToya submitted her millage proposition? She had inside of it that some of that money would be going towards cars for members of NOPD. She had that money be going towards for NOPD. Now, this is what happened. LaToya made the rounds. She went and she speak to the members of the New Orleans City Council individually and collectively. She went and speak to them. And what did they all do? They end up kissing the ring of LaToya Cantrell. And 2 weeks later, we have on the ballot now a proposition to which they are lying to the people about. To which they are lying to the people about. Now hear this. According to Jason Williams, when he objected to this proposition, the language was ambiguous, right? And at that time, LaToya specifically claimed that she wanted money for NOPD. Now, in this new revised millage, it is much, much more ambiguous and broad. Now, let me say this, family. At this second meeting, there was one of my associates, somebody who I come to admire and respect, for since I met this warrior princess and Noor. Her name is I hope she don't mind me calling her name on the show. Her name is Alicia Plummer. Now, Alicia Plummer was present at that same meeting with me when they tried to push this legislation through. Now, they were so arrogant about pushing this through that Jared Brissett wanted to cast a vote on this proposition moving forward without the public even had a chance to speak. And we stopped that. We call him out, and then they entertain the argument or the public. What they did, or what LaToya did, she sent the heads of her department there. She sent the head of NOPD, the head of the fire, and the head of EMS. And one of the things, one of the issue that was on the very first one, that's on this one as well, is the fact that they're going to be using some of this money to purchase vehicle. Now, I was looking at it from the standpoint that, look, it's ridiculous because the previous administration spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to purchase vehicle for NOPD. And during the Mitch Landrieu administration, the reason that he gave at the time was to boost morale. It's out there for the public to see. You can go and read the document yourself. Now, my sister, Alicia Plummer, came up with a concept that I wasn't even thinking about, to be honest with you. It wasn't nowhere on my radar. Even though, come to think about it, what she was saying was actually truth and right, because I remember I was in Baton Rouge and La Plaza a couple of times, and I saw NOPD vehicles in those vicinity, in those areas, right? And Ms. Plummer point out the fact that, look, we have vehicles, NOPD vehicles all over the goddamn place. Alabama, Mississippi, wherever, all over the place. And if we are in dire need of vehicles, why we have vehicles all over the place and not right here in New Orleans? Not only that, but if you should drive around, look, family, I make mention of this before. Where I live, where I reside out there in New Orleans East, I drive around that little subdivision, and at any given day or time, you can see NOPD vehicles park up in certain residential driveways, right? And while you have those NOPD vehicles right there, you will see 2 or 3 cars in that same driveway. So you have to ask yourself, where's the outcry? Why, if we have members of NOPD utilizing cars for their own personal use, should we, the taxpayers of New Orleans, pay for that crap? Why should we? You know what I remember? Let me share something with you guys. It was in 2017, right? 2017, when we did this grassroots thing out there in New Orleans East. We formed this District E. We tried to mobilize the residents of District E. We did flyers. We used to issue out those flyers. And one morning we was on Reed Boulevard, Reed and I-10, and this female NOPD officer, early in the morning, it was around 7 o'clock, with our kids in the back of the vehicle, telling us that we cannot issue out or we cannot pass out flyers without a guardian permit. Here it is, our kids in the back calling her, mommy, 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 mommy. And apparently, based on, when I look in the car, you can see bags and snacks. So it's either she was taking them to school or to daycare or something. But here it is, she telling grassroots activists, or she telling we the people, she driving around in taxpayer funded. She couldn't come to the people of New Orleans and tell us that she wanted money she wanted a tax proposition to be on the ballot because she wanted to purchase automobiles for NOPD. She know that. Every single thing that is in this proposition right now, family, was on the ballot in 2016. Now, for my critics, I'm going to read this proposition that's on the ballot. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Away from the fact that LaToya Cantrell went and met with the members of the New Orleans City Council and promised them something. Well, look, I know, because I know what she promised in the wind. Nobody don't have to tell me, and I wasn't in the meeting. A week and a half ago, Cindy Wynn, the so-called representative of District E, and LaToya Cantrell was out there in New Orleans East, according to them, breaking ground for infrastructure repairs. Follow me carefully. They was out there breaking ground for infrastructure repairs to the tune of $27 million. $27 million, and the first part of this was $14 million. So Here it is. Cinderwin casted a yes vote for a photo op. Cinderwin sell out the people of District E. Cinderwin casted a yes vote so that she can do a photo op with Latoya Cantrell. Can you believe that? This is the proposition that's going to be on the ballot in November. Millage proposition. Shall the city of New Orleans, Louisiana, the city, be authorized to levy a special tax of 3 mills and all property subjected to taxation in the city? Again, family, you see that description? Subjected to. You see what I'm talking about? Subjected to property taxation for a period of 20 years, beginning January 1st, 2020 and ending December 31st, 2039. $10,250,000 currently estimated to be collected from the tax for an entire year, with the proceeds of the tax to be dedicated solely for the purpose of 1. Repairing and rehabilitating roads, streets, bridges and surface and subsurface drainage system and stormwater management facility in the city, and 2, purchasing and acquiring equipment. Now again, the first time that members of the New Orleans City Council rejected this proposition, they made the argument that it was too broad, and that the reason, the outcry, or the reason for this millage proposition to be on the ballot is because Latoya Cantrell is out there crying or making the argument that she need money for infrastructure. Now, I listened to Latoya Cantrell, I think a couple days ago, and basically she is, when it comes to infrastructure, just about everything to her now is infrastructure. She is utilizing that word infrastructure like there's no goddamn tomorrow. She is utilizing that word infrastructure like it's the end of the day. Latoya Cantrell is. So, here it is, infrastructure. Furnishing and other public improvement for the city. Title to which shall remain in the public, provided that a portion of the monies collected shall be remitted to certain state and statewide retirement system in a manner required by law. Now, they want us to believe that this bottom portion of this proposition is standard jargon when it comes to these proposition being on the ballot. My brothers and sisters, that's BS. Don't buy into that.
Right before they voted.
It redefines disasters as pretty much anything the mayor declares. Disasters before were mainly about disasters that dealt with hurricanes. This is particularly for the BP oil spill.
In reality, the proposed change was not just for the BP spill, and it didn't just redefine disasters. It redefined who could make emergency overtime during any future disaster declaration. We were curious if council members really understood what they unanimously approved. Jackie Clarkson, Stacey Head, and Kristen Palmer all had no comment. Susan Guidry and Cynthia Hedge-Morell never got back to us.
If they didn't know, that they should have known, and I think it's no excuse that if they're already paying people top salaries when they come in city government, and then they're trying to find a way to pay them additional monies of taxpayers' money, and the city council has already been crying that the city is broke.
They may all get an earful during the fire department's upcoming budget hearing, as NOFD faces cuts in service and personnel.
It will be part of our discussions, and maybe we need to rethink any changes and maybe put some new regulations in place that would prevent this type of abuse.
With more than $5 million already paid out of the general fund for Isaac payroll, the city says FEMA has agreed to reimburse most of the costs, about 75%.
If the rule is not in place prior to the disaster, FEMA will not allow you to get reimbursed for that overtime. So the rule has to be in place.
It does matter, because I think that it matters because we shouldn't be exploiting FEMA. I think FEMA has a role to play, and FEMA is supposed to help the needy and not the greedy.
Like other local parishes, the city sent a letter to Governor Jindal asking the state to waive the remaining 25%. Whether that break will come remains to be seen. Either way, taxpayers foot the bill as top city executives cash in for the first time during an emergency.
Now, family, this is what we're talking about. It's a long, this practice of Louisiana politician taxing the people of Louisiana, of New Orleans, to put in their pocket ain't new. It's not new. They tax the people of New Orleans, of Louisiana, not for what they actually tells you the money is going to be for. It's not, and it's never is. It's never. That's, look, what we are saying is, we the people establish for government a revenue stream. We establish a revenue stream, but what you find happening is that greed comes in. Greed comes into the point where they cannot utilize that revenues are those monies that's coming in to them legally. They cannot utilize that money and be satisfied. No, they have to always find other ways and means to tax or to create a financial burden on the people. And it is time, look, it is time for we the people to wake the hell up. It is time for the people of New Orleans to recognize the politics that's going on. Latoya Cantrell don't care about you. Errol G. Williams don't care about you. The members of the New Orleans City Council don't care about you. Only to the extent that you will put them into public office. That's it, family. Only to the extent that you will put them back into public office. Otherwise, they don't care about you.
Tandra Smith has been living in her Fairgrounds neighborhood home since 2008.
A lot of my neighbors have been here longer than I have.
She likes the area, mainly for its affordability. But after seeing her recent property assessment skyrocket, she's fearful she won't be able to live there much longer.
This right here, of course, this is from last year, 2019, where they had it at 167, which was, you know, reasonable, because I purchased it actually at 135. Now it's at 416.
$416,000.
Yes.
Wow. was your initial reaction when you saw that number?
I wanted to cry.
It's a problem many people say they're noticing. Smith and dozens of others expressed their concerns at a community meeting tonight.
Any conversation about affordable housing has to include affordable homeownership, and that conversation has to include existing homeowners.
So that means any sales that have occurred in the last 4-year period.
Errol Williams, Orleans Parish Assessor, attended the meeting to help clarify any concerns. Many people came to the front to ask questions.
Is that correct? Is that taking into effect the rollback?
While others showed their frustration.
For 30 years, for 35 years, this criminal been in the office.
We applied the formulas equitably among everybody.
Williams says if someone has an assessment increase that they feel is wrong, to bring it to them. We asked Williams about Smith's large assessment estimate. Is that extreme to you?
No, it isn't, and here's why. Because over the past 4 years, there's been substantial increases in values in these respective neighborhoods.
A lot of people feel that they're being pushed out of their homes this way. What do you feel about that?
Well, gentrification is happening all over the city, and not just New Orleans, it's all over the country. And what you're seeing is that people are buying in neighborhoods, renovating the properties, and selling for substantial more. The same house that you may...
Family, this argument, oh my God. Family, this argument about gentrification, this argument is so way off the reservation. This argument about gentrification, they utilized this argument last year to their benefit. They utilized this argument about gentrification to their benefit. It was unbelievable. And a vast majority of people bought into it to the extent that they put a proposition on the ballot last year, and it's passed, or it was passed. One of the issues that we have here is that when they draft these constitutional amendments that deal with taxes, none of these politicians ever take the time to explain honestly to the people what these propositions are all about. Nobody do it. They pass this proposition, they sugarcoat it, they whitewash it, they lie about it, and they put it out there, knowing goddamn well that people are so confused and disgusted, and people don't have the time to go out and research these propositions for to see what it's all about. They do this. It's done intentionally. When they draft certain proposition, now again, look, I'm no special than the next guy out there, but my eyes are wide open when it comes to these politicians and the dirty politics and the dirty business, the dirty shady things, what they're doing. I recognize in seeing the proposition that was on the ballot last year and seeing the wording, the way it was being drafted, I recognize exactly what time of day it was. I recognize that. And in my humble capacity, or with my limited resources, I try to inform as much people as possible. As much people as possible. But when you have a big war chest like these criminals over here have, and when you have people who are not keen to certain interests, that's what's going to happen.
Be living in may be identical to the one that's sold next door to you, so we can't ignore that. I can't treat them separately. But people who have struggled, it's a tough situation.
Now, the assessor did tell me that if you do feel that you have something that does seem kind of inaccurate, to please call them. They may be able to adjust your estimate depending on if there's issues surrounding your area or your actual property. Reporting live in the French Quarter, I'm Carice Jackman, Eyewitness News. .com.
Get better on the New Orleans people so they can have a peace of mind. You know, so people can start living. Like, people not living here. People are struggling every day here.
A working mother without a home. This woman called our newsroom after seeing Mayor Cantrell's press conference today about affordable housing. She says rent is just too high, and she wants something done to help not just her, but other people in her same situation. Good evening, I'm Karen Swenson. Katie and Sharice are off. Mayor Cantrell and her administration say they are focusing on making housing affordable for everyone here in New Orleans. Today, she launched the first meeting of her affordable housing tour in the city, but as you just saw, some residents don't have a lot of time to wait. Carice Jackman joins us live from the French Quarter with more on the mayor's new push and why people who are struggling to make ends meet remain skeptical. Carice?
That's absolutely right, Karen. When we spoke with the mayor earlier today, she says she knows that some people are having a hard time paying for rent, and she's looking for solutions right now. But as you heard from that mother, time is running out.
It'd be hard.
This is Sharon Denson's home, a small little motel room in New Orleans East. So Sharon, how long have you been living here?
It's going on 3 weeks. And I'm low on funds.
She's also a single mom and works a full-time job. Those dollars, though, she says, aren't enough to pay rent.
I don't have enough to pay $1,100 to $1,200.
And it's not that you're not working hard, that you're not trying hard. You're just trying to make ends meet to get a place.
I'm not looking for a handout for the government. I'm just tired of working so hard and I can't get nowhere.
She was in the room today when the mayor's press conference came on TV about affordable housing. What was your initial reaction?
I shook my head. I really shook my head because I'm like, you're stating these facts on TV, but in reality, it's not happening.
The mayor's office tells us they're partnering with the Louisiana Housing Corporation to start developing affordable housing throughout the city. They're getting more than $600 million to go towards affordable housing, homelessness, and they're looking to develop 642 affordable properties with it.
It's something that we were able to do.
Mayor Cantrell kicked off her affordable housing tour in the lower 9th Ward today, giving people resources and information. Before her presentation, we told her about Sharon. What would you like to tell her?
Well, one, she's not alone.
Mayor Cantrell says she knows there's an affordability crisis.
That's exactly why in my legislative agenda and working with our delegation that we were able to pass Senate Bill 79 and 80, creating again that constitutional amendment that will give the city of New Orleans greater flexibility to create its own tax incentives to therefore develop more affordable housing.
But for Sharon, she can't wait another day. She checks out of this motel Friday.
Because we tired of struggling. Like, we want better in our lives.
And if you missed tonight's meeting, there will be 6 more. We'll have that information for you on our website, WWL.
Family, look. When we have politicians going around New Orleans doing these photo ops and trying to let it appear as if they really care. You know how I know that Latoya Cantrell don't care, Cindy Wynn don't care, Errol G. Williams don't care. None of the so-called elected officials here that form a part of this municipal corporation really care about the people of New Orleans. You know how I know about how I come to that conclusion? I present to every single member of the New Orleans City Council evidence evidence that people here in New Orleans are losing their property, not because of a wrong or something that they did. They are losing the property illegally. They are losing the property, and the very same group of people who took an oath of office to safeguard their rights are the very same group of people who are partnering up with other entities, for-profit entities, to rob the people of New Orleans their rightful possession, their home, the land. They don't care. When Latoya Cantrell come out and she speak, she know that as it is right now, based on what happened last year, the people of New Orleans was going to be facing a tax increase. She know this. But what did she do? She went ahead and ensured that another proposition was on the ballot that would continue, that would prolong the financial burden of the people of New Orleans. Now, if you see your brother out there with a heavy load, or your sister out there with a heavy load, carrying something on the head or over the back or on the shoulder, and they're moving, but you can actually see that they're moving with weight, with load, with a burden. If you love that person, or if you care about that person, would you then go and take some of that weight or that burden from that person? Or would you go and increase that burden, put more goods into the basket or into the bag, or on the shoulder or on the head of that person who you see? Yeah, they're moving. They're moving. But because of that load that they're moving with, they're moving at a, maybe steady pace or a slow pace. If you had any compassion, any love, wouldn't you go and say, okay, let me help you bear this burden, let me take some of the load off of you? If you had love for those people, that's what you would do. For that person, that's what you would do. You would take some of that burden so that person can feel some sort of relief. You want to go and add more pounds, more weight, more load to that person? You won't kill that person. These politicians have no love for neither you nor me. Again, family, you're listening to The Proven Truth. You're listening to The Proven Truth with your brother, Anthony Brown, coming to you live from the studios of Radio Gumbo Creole in the beautiful territory of New Orleans, Louisiana. We on this program, family, we on this show, we are black conscious, not black ignorant. We are black conscious, not black ignorant. Hence, we pay homage, hence we pay respect, hence we keep the names of our ancestors alive. when the history books are written, the history books fail to keep or to make mention of a lot of our ancestors. And when they do make mention of our ancestors, they don't do them justice. It's our job to do that, to keep the names of our ancestors alive. And we do this, family, because our ancestors first did it for us. Our ancestors took action in a time when taking action was tantamount to signing your death warrant. Tantamount to signing your death warrant. Now these black men and women didn't just sit by the wayside and fold their arms and pray to God that better must come one day, or that we shall overcome someday. No, my brothers and sisters, kings and queens, princes and princesses, these ancestors, they took action. They thought, they speak, they mobilize. And for that we say much love. We speak of the Right Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Nanny from the Maroon, Paul Bogle, Fred Hamilton, Maurice Bishop, Malcolm X, Carter G. Wilson, Harriet Tubman, Thomas Sankara, Samuel Mackell, Bookman Duty, Toussaint Louverture, Jack Dessalines. Now, these are just a few of our ancestors who we tend to idolize on a day-to-day basis. Few of our ancestors who we pay homage to. Few of our ancestors who we tend to keep their names on the tip of our tongue. To all these ancestors and to those who we don't mention, we want to say thank you. We want to say much love. We want to say much respect for the work and the sacrifice. Because if it wasn't for your sacrifice, Anthony Brown wouldn't be here today. Anthony Brown wouldn't have the passion and the desire to fight hypocrisy as we see it play itself, its dirty self, out in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana. To all our ancestors, we salute you. My brothers and sisters, we're going to be cutting the show, a few minutes early today again because we have a function we have to attend. But again, for those of you who miss any part of this show, we archive these televised shows on the YouTube. You can go to the YouTube, check us out on The Proven Truth. While you're there, like us, subscribe, so you can get, you can keep on getting the updates. Leave a comment, whatever. Again, it's this platform belongs to us. We the people, we the bosses, and that's what we are. Until such time, peace, much love.